Hey guys, so today I thought it'd be fun to do a reading for the collective, and I want to look at the chakras and where we're in alignment, maybe where some blocks are operating within our system. I think it's a really good time to kind of look at that kind of energy flow within our systems and within our souls, within our hearts, within our crown chakra, our third eye, all of these things. As we approach Lion's Gate in particular, where there's timeline shifts, there's increased energy flow that we can really utilize to raise our vibration. Also a new moon coming up, so time for new beginnings, releasing old energy, bringing in new energy. And we're sitting between those two full moons in Aquarius right now, which I feel is super important. I feel like it's not talked about enough actually, because Aquarius is a humanitarian sign, but it's also really unique thinking. It's really thinking outside of the box, and it's about not being scared of your own quirks and your weirdness and those thoughts that you have. You're like, does anybody else think that way? And when we sit between those two full moons, I feel like there's so much potential here to really make massive collective shifts in our thinking, as well as individual shifts in the way that we process our thinking as well, right? It's not just our thoughts, but it's how we feel about those thoughts. It's what we do with those thoughts that really makes a difference, I heard. Okay, so let's get into this reading. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for all of your support. The channel's almost at 10,000 subscribers, which is amazing, because just 2 weeks ago, I think it was 5,000 I wrote a post on. So thank you so much for all of your support. I am so excited about the channel growing, and it's not just the channel growing, it's the kind of people that are finding the channel and that are subscribing. I mean, it's just so nice to have the right frequency come along, I feel like it's so important, and the little communities that are going on in some of the comments, it really means so much to me. You really have no idea how much that means to me. It means a lot. I feel like, part of my purpose is being served out by doing that. Okay, so let's get into the chakra reading here. I'm going to use the tarot, and I'm going to use the Dark Mirror Oracle. And the Dark Mirror Oracle can be a very shadowy kind of deck. It can be a little bit triggering at times, but I think it's good to look at where we're blocked potentially. And I did this reading for myself, and I found it really insightful. It raised a lot of questions for me and validated a lot of feelings I had. So hopefully it does the same thing for you. And I'm hearing, sometimes asking the question is better than receiving the answer. Also, I want to say I painted my room. Obviously, if you're returning, you realize that. And I need some more lights because it's a really beautiful purple. But yeah, I don't know. I felt like it would be weird if I didn't note that to you. It's odd. And funny enough, purple is the color of the crown chakra. And so that's all about channeling, right? But it's also about knowing. It's not just channeling. It's also just your inner knowing, which is kind of channeling. But really being confident in what you know is true. And I think that's very important for all of us to really trust our intuition, trust our instincts, trust our feelings, trust all the way up from our chakra system, all the way from the root to the crown, that everything we feel like in between is true, it's important, it's telling us something. And maybe there's some blocks and some misguided energy, but it's still true in terms of it's telling us something that we need to know about ourselves or potentially about the world outside of ourselves. Okay, let's get going here. For the collective, I'm going to shuffle and pull out the cards and look at the 7 chakra spirit. Okay, I'll do a couple more shuffles here. For the collective, and thank you everybody who's liking the videos. I didn't realize how much that helps. I knew it helped, but it really helps. So if you do like this video, then be sure to like it, because it really helps the channel grow and circulate and the videos get out. It's kind of strange YouTube algorithms, the way they all work, but it's the nature of the beast, right? Okay, let's see. Oh, interesting. I heard if you're going to play in the beast's playground, you got to play by their rules. Ooh. Spirit's got something to say about Google, I guess. Let's see here. I thought I was going to pull them out. I guess we're popping out. Okay. Kind of sidetracked me with that, huh? Okay, let's see here. 2 more. This looks good. Ooh. We got the High Priestess at the bottom and Parasite at the bottom of this one. Wow, look at how this Parasite is looking over at the High Priestess. Yeah, you know, a lot of readers and well, just people in the spiritual or new age community or whatever you want to call it, there has been a lot of talk about, you know, lower vibrations and lower energies, you know, and spiritual attacks and et cetera and so forth. And certainly that is a thing and it is a possibility here, but you are powerful. You are all powerful, I want to say. And, you know, if you get a parasite, you can also eradicate it. You can get rid of it. So you might have that kind of feeling that somebody's leeching on your energy or somebody's just, you know, infiltrating the collective with energy that is maybe unwanted. But there's always a remedy for that. So don't forget that. I feel like that's important here. Remain in control of your energetic space. I feel like that's a big message here. And yeah. Okay. And you know, I know, you know, what different things mean in the cards, but I am seeing the B and J here on the pillars. So I do feel like it's really standing out for me. So I feel like those could be initials for somebody here or about somebody. That might just be obviously for 1 or 2 of you. Now let's see here. The root chakra, which is really the place about your instincts. It's about grounding. It's about who you are. It's an earth element. It's also about sensuality and sexuality. We have the Queen of Wands and I Won't Cry for You. Ooh. Okay, so I feel like this is saying that recently there's been a loss of some sort. Could be with yourself or it could be with another person. Or, you know, maybe there's a loss of innocence in the collective or a loss of critical thinking within the collective or whatever you feel it is. And, you know, with the Queen of Wands in particular, I feel like you're putting up a real wall, standing in your strength and, you know, being a role model for others, really empowering yourself and empowering others. But at the same time, you're pushing down some feelings here with I Won't Cry for You. And so I feel like with the root chakra, what you're doing here is grounding yourself in a place of, well, it's a little bit of a stubborn energy, I have to say, but it's grounding yourself in a place of I won't let anything affect me. You know, I'm stronger than this. And, you know, if, you know, the last reading I did, I think was Gemini. No, last reading I did was, yeah, it was Gemini. And I released Aries last, but I did Gemini last. And one of the messages in that reading was that in order to release, you need to feel through the emotions, you know, not overthink it, not put up a wall, not go on carrying on like everything is fine and nothing affects you. It's really to cry for whatever it is that you're hurt about. To really feel those emotions. Now, you don't have to make that a public display with the Queen of Wands, but don't lie to yourself about what you're feeling. You know, really release that, especially with the root. You know, the root is about release. It's about like excretion, really. And so it is about releasing toxic energy. You have to get it out. And when you cry, from stress or anxiety, frustration, your tears actually release cortisol. And so you are actually releasing yourself from that stress, from that toxic buildup that you have in relation to something that you lost or some frustrating situation you're in. Okay, so I really feel like the root chakra is saying that, yeah, you are grounded, and not only are you grounded, but you're like ready to go forward, which is excellent and amazing with the Queen of Wands here. But the block here potentially could be for collective, could be for you individually, could be both, is to really be a little bit softer with yourself, acknowledge the hurt, acknowledge the pain, allow yourself to release that in whatever way that you feel. I heard that you feel makes you look weak to yourself. For some of you, that's actually crying. You need to cry. For others of you, you need to scream, like it's going to be different things. For others of you, you need to laugh. Maybe you've been sitting in this energy of victim mentality a little bit too long, and you need to release that. You need to re-empower yourself with the Queen of Wands. It's going to be different for each of you. Okay, your sacral chakra, that's about your creativity. It's the element of water. It's also about, your sense of self. It's your place of I feel. This is what you feel. I just saw 1133. Okay, it's a place of what you feel. And we have the 8 of Pentacles here with the temple of my body. See, I feel that you feel quite a bit. You're probably intuitive, empathic here, especially with the High Priestess and Parasite coming out. And it's interesting, this need to fast almost. That could be literal or it could be figurative, but it's like you need to cleanse the system here. I heard of heavy metals, okay, I don't know, but it's like you need to release something here because what you're feeling is that you feel everything within your body, and this toxic energy is becoming parasitic for you. The temple of your body here is, it's affecting your creativity and your ability to work on your career, your creative projects, your friendships, but also yourself here. It's almost like you don't want to allow yourself to feel the pain of some situation you're going through, right? You don't want to allow yourself to feel that because I'm feeling, this is going to be for some of you, I'm feeling a fear here. And I've experienced this myself, actually last year around this time. It's like if I let out the pain I'm feeling, I don't know if I'm ever going to stop the flow. If I actually fully break down and let myself feel what I'm feeling, am I ever going to pull myself back together? That's the kind of energy I'm getting here. So it feels safer to just kind of go cold, just put up a wall and go forward, be strong. But really what you're doing is keeping all of that energy within the temple of your body, which is corrupting your ability to receive new energy because you're keeping energy in that needs to go. So know that, yes, you will be fine. You will be able to collect yourself again. It might not be for a while. You might have, more emotion come out than you feel prepared for or that you feel like you're capable of withstanding. I heard support and guidance, okay, is needed. If this is you, if I'm speaking to you. Yeah, okay. The next one is solar plexus. So this is I do. It's a place of fire. It's your will, your purpose, your strength. And we have the Hierophant coming up with perchance to dream. And it's interesting because, this really looks like marriage to me here. I do with the Hierophant and these two people with I do, which you say, right? So I feel like with the solar plexus here, I feel like it's your purpose is to bring things into union. And it doesn't have to be with finding union with another person, but it's to harmonize, it's to balance. Some of you have North Node in Libra, okay? And if that's the case, then this solar plexus chakra at this time is going to be really important for you to do some work on. So that's another thing. Whatever I say in this reading that you feel really relates to you could be the chakra that you want to work on right now. Or you could do all of them, right? It's always best to go holistic, in my opinion. But here I feel like, you know, what you do is you bring things into balance. Dreams that you have, dreams with reality. You allow yourself to dream. But the dreaming is structured in a sense here. It's interesting. I'm getting like a lucid dreaming, actually. Like a controlled state of tapping into possibilities. So it's not like flights of fancy where you're out in la la land. You know, your dreams and your downloads that you receive and all of these things, they're structured by your reality. And in that way, you can actually materialize and actualize the dreams that you are receiving or the dreams that you have. It's practical with a lot of imagination. It's a perfect mixture. And so I feel like these, you know, the root and the sacral chakra are going to be really important spaces for you to clear out, because your ability to create here is extremely positive and it's extremely possible. You know, there's a lot of people out there who are dreamers, and we need dreamers. I love dreamers, you know. I'm a little bit of a dreamer. We all have that inside of us. But you also need to be a doer at some level as well. Well, you don't need to. I mean, you could just be a dreamer. You don't need to do anything. But your ability to be a doer and a dreamer at the same time really is that kind of utilization of the Aquarian moon energy. It's to actually bring things into being. So that is fully in alignment, I feel like, right now. The potential for it to be fully in alignment is there. Also, if your North Node isn't Libra, it would be very interesting for you to think about where Libra is in your chart. And this isn't even this is a Taurus card, but I'm just really getting this with this balance here. Okay, so let's move on to your heart chakra. Okay, so this is the air element. It's about obviously love, compassion. And so the word or the phrase that goes along with this is I love. And so here we have the 7 of Wands and anger and chains. So you love to defend, okay? I'm getting a real Leo vibe here. Well, the heart space is, you know, the heart chakra is connected to Leo. But we do have, you know, a love of defending. Now, this could be defending others. It could be defending yourself. It could be, you know, fighting against institutions and higher powers here. I feel like some of you really fight injustices. Oh, and I'm just seeing the lion here. Yeah, definitely some Leo energy. Some of you don't even realize the passion you have for disrupting and breaking chains of anger. You know, especially if you're a light worker, that's part of the work is to first make those chains visible, but then to help, you know, unlink those chains or break them for yourself, but also for others. And that can become a passion. It can become a drive. Learning how to protect oneself and then teaching others how to protect themselves as well. Now on the kind of darker side, on the shadow side here, I can see here that there is some of you, not all of you, there's some of you out here who are very defensive when it comes to love. You won't let anybody in. And I feel like that's related to whatever's going on here with the root and the sacral chakra. There's, you probably have been infected with a parasite at some point, right? Figuratively, or maybe literally, who knows? But I am seeing the Page of Cups here in reverse behind the High Priestess. There was a betrayal in love here. Some of you experienced a lot of somebody else's anger, and that anger felt like it was chaining you, binding you to a space of eternal and internal defensiveness. So if that resonates with you, then at this time, you know, you want to work on your heart chakra and opening up your heart chakra and clearing out those feelings of feeling trapped, either by someone else's anger or your own. It's okay to be defensive. It's okay to be in the Seven of Wands position. Sometimes we need to do this lots of times in our life. But make sure you're not continuing that energy when the parasite's already been eradicated. It's like taking antibiotics, right, far beyond the need to take them. It actually weakens your immune system. You know, you want to avoid taking antibiotics if you can, right? Obviously, if you need them, take them. But yeah, I feel like it's taking the medicine past the need to here. Okay, so there's a need to drop your defenses a little bit. Okay, and the next one is the throat chakra, which is I speak, and this is obviously speaking your truth. Okay, but when you speak your truth and your throat chakra is open, you're also able to hear other people's truth. The resonance connects. Okay, so it's not only speaking your truth, it's also hearing other people's truth. It's the element of ether, spirit. Okay, so speaking with that clear communication that's coming from a place of resonance with spirit. It can also be a place of creativity. And I want you to think about how all of these chakras like really build up and line up. And so if you're blocked in the root chakra, you're going to have problems with the sacral and so on and so forth. You know, so it really seems like there is some kind of block in the first two chakras here, which isn't to say it's forever. It could just be for today, you know, but it's something to be aware of. Okay, so I speak. We have the world. And then we have, at the bottom here, we have artificial heart. Well, I feel like you are speaking your truth about, you know, what your ideas of love are. I heard fallacy. There's a lot of fallacy that you're witnessing at this time in others, in the collective. You know, you can really see people, I feel like, for who they are. But you can also see how a lot of people are guarded. Like I said, some of you are doing this light work and you're helping other people break off those chains and, you know, lower their defenses when needed and raise them when needed. Some of you need to close out a cycle. Okay, and you have the power to do it. And until you close that out, and I'm hearing you have to figure out how to close it out for yourself. Okay? It won't be until then, until you feel like your heart is real, is open again, is ready, is free of the anger and chains. Now, if you do feel in your heart a lot of anger, I feel like coming after that in the throat chakra is with the artificial heart. It's like that's not your real heart, okay? Yeah, maybe you've been hurt, maybe you've experienced a lot of pain, but that's not really who you are. Okay, so if you're expressing a lot of anger at this time, and we all do, you know, here and there, things piss people off, right? But no, don't hold on to that energy as who you are now, who you have become. I also feel like for a lot of you, your heart is calling you somewhere. This message came through for Aries. It's calling you somewhere else in the world, to another world, creating a new world. Because wherever you are now, you are not fully invested in, you don't fully love. This could be your career, this could be a relationship, could be anything here, but there's something here that you were just kind of sticking with. And I'm seeing like mud, you know, it's like you're stuck somewhere and the love that you once felt for this is no longer there, or maybe you're realizing it was never there to begin with. So there needs to be a rapid change here. Okay, let's look at your third eye here with the IC. We have the Page of Swords, which is a card of seeing, right? But it came out in reverse with today for tomorrow. And you know, the crown, or the third eye chakra, is about the element of light. It's about perception, intuition, imagination. And I feel like here what's going on is, well, there's something here about, it's interesting. It's like for some of you, it's like you need to think more about what you're going to do in the next couple months. Like you need to do some serious planning. You need to think forward in the future, which isn't something I really subscribe to. And, you know, people around me who know me, that kind of drives them nuts that I don't do enough planning. You know, I'm always just like living in the now, but that's what works for me, right? And then some of you are like need to live in the now more. And you're not thinking, or you're thinking too much about tomorrow. Like you're living today for tomorrow rather than living today for today. It's like you're not seeing or experiencing what's happening now right in front of you. You're too concerned or consumed with thoughts of the future. And whenever we have anxiety or worry, typically, unless it's some kind of like immediate danger we're in, it's typically about, you know, the future that hasn't yet arrived. And never mind that the future never arrives, right? The future is always in the future. So it's important to stay present. And if you are experiencing these problems in the root chakra with I won't cry for you, you know, this parasite thing going on, all of this anger in the heart, you know, and that's not going to be for everyone. But if you are experiencing that, then I can understand why sitting in the present moment is going to be tough. But your third eye, your ability to see, your intuition is going to be blocked. You won't be able to see clearly because you're not seeing now. You're trying to see into the future. I heard, which is always a losing game. You can pick up on energies and frequencies, and you can have prophetic thoughts and visions and all of these things about what might play out in the future, but nothing's ever guaranteed. You know, energy is fluid. Energy shifts and change as it comes into contact with different things. Like this water feels cold now, but if I put it near a fire, it's going to heat up, right? So to say that, yeah, in 20 minutes this water is going to be cold really depends on where the water is going to be, right? And this could be influenced by a number of things. This could be like, I don't know, my cat knocking it down and putting it close to a candle, and then, you know, who knows what's going to happen. So really trying to stabilize the future. That was an odd example, wasn't it? Really trying to stabilize the future or anything into the future. Maybe it is something to do with water and fire energy here, emotion and passion, you know, is really going to block your intuition. What you need to feel is the energies now. And the more you can become in touch with the now and what you feel now within yourself, but also what you're perceiving around you, is going to like connect you to a frequency that leads you into the now of the future. Okay. Now we have the crown, which is I know, right? So this is channeling. This is your spiritual wisdom. This is your connection to source. This is your knowledge. It's the element of thought, okay? And so we have the Lovers in reverse, and then the Two of Pentacles came out. This is interesting that two cards came out for this chakra. We have the Child I Was Meant to Be and Fated to Suffer. Wow, this is super heavy here. So I feel like what you're coming to see and understand here what you're being given the gift of knowing at this time. Look at these 2 pentacles here and then these 2 symbols here for the lovers. It's that, you know, our connections with other people are definitely, you know, definitely rooted in our experiences in our early age. Any traumas we might have had, you know, the type of parenting that we received, our relationships with siblings, friends, so on and so forth, they all really shape us. Look at these 2 hands here. You know, our ability to love is magnified or contracted. Interesting. Expanded or contracted, but maybe magnified too, based on, you know, what we go through in childhood and how we're taught to learn what is love to us. What does love look like? Does love mean, you know, constant attention? Does love mean your partner gives you freedom? Does love mean your partner protects you? Like, what does love mean to you? All of those kinds of things. I feel like with the crown chakra, being able to channel this information and know this and have spiritual wisdom, you're learning, or you know how integral your childhood is to your understanding when it comes to love. Both of like how you perceive others to love one another and how love operates in society in general, but also within yourself. There's something here that you suffered through when you were younger. It could be, you know, a small trauma. It could be a big trauma. It could be, you know, whatever it is, right? But there's something here that you're realizing that you're not fated to suffer, whatever this is. You're fated to discover what this is, to know, to clear that crown, to clear that memory, to work through those memories, to clear it out in order to really receive love the way it was intended. It's really powerful. And with the parasite connecting to the high priestess here, I feel like you haven't really had the opportunity to experience love in the way that you know it can be experienced for you. It's almost like the parasite is those childhood programming mechanisms that are still operating within you about what love is. Okay, and many of us who have been through toxic relationships and, you know, trauma and abuse and all of these things, there is stuff that happened in our childhood related to our parents, related to people who were around us, you know, but particularly parenting, who taught us, you know, it wasn't okay to be this way, or you had to be this way in order to get over something. And all of that is deep, deep seated. And it goes far, 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 far back. It goes right into the root chakra. And here, won't cry for you. I feel like this is your inner child. Aw. Yeah, this is your inner child. You haven't cried for your inner child. Oh, because you're being the Queen of Wands. You're showing face. You're being strong. But this is like an infection, really. It is. For many of you, this is the time to face those deep wounds so that you can really balance out your connection to love and your connection to someone else. And I'm seeing a triangle here. It's like you, the other person, and source. You know, it's a trinity. And these are, you know, twos here. And I feel like that's what's missing here, is that softness for yourself. working through those kinds of blocks really in your crown. Now, I did write down some affirmations for each chakra here when I was doing it for myself. And I want to focus here on the crown and the root. So the crown says, I know what I want. I know what is best for my highest good. I know that I am loved. I know that I am guided. I know that I am protected. I know that I am connected to source. And your root is, I am safe. I am home. I am centered. I am grounded. And I feel like that's really what's pulling this whole reading together. Wow, that went deep. I'm gonna have to watch this one back. I hope that gave you some insight, validation, clarity, whatever it is you're going through right now. I love you so much. Have a happy new moon, and I'll see you next time.